Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to a bit of down to race content. Club 100 heavyweight sprints. It's 2024 and we're back at Buckmore Park, ready for the first race of the season already. We've got Anwar Barrel-Smith to our right there, who is, as always, going to be someone that's very tricky to keep up with, so we'll do our best to do that. But across the line, first heat of the day, we're on the outside, very tricky, but Park had a bit of a resurface over the winter, and there's some patchy bits of tarmac which offers incredible amounts of grip, especially when it started getting wet and slippy. As you can see, the race meeting has been weather affected already. You can see damp patches, and it wouldn't get much better throughout the course of the day, but that's jumping ahead a little bit too much. We've got a race going on at the moment, but if you're new to Club 100 videos, if you're new to karting and sprint racing in general, just do a quick look at the inside going into Garda. We've got someone coming up our inside. We managed to get them back, but we lose a position in the meantime. But yeah, sprint racing. You get 3 heats. This is our first heat of the day, and this was our middle start, I think this one was. No, this would have been the back start. So you get a front, a middle, and a back start. And unless you're a class 3 with Club 100, which is a bit like being a novice in owner-driver racing, where you'll still get like a front, middle and a back, as we have a little bit of a sniff up the inside after going through hairpin 2, but nothing doing there. So if you're a class 3 or a novice, you'll still get a front, middle and back, but it will be amongst the other class 3s, the other novices, and you'll be starting behind the class 1 and class 2s. It just aims to help as we take a move up the inside of Garda, and managed to get that move back. But in all that fighting, you can see that Anwar and the karts in front have managed to break away a little bit, which isn't great for us because it means that we've got some space to break down. But as we go through turns 1 and 2, able to carry quite a bit of speed thanks to even though it's a bit damp and patchy underfoot, or under tyre, I should say. The new tarmac is offering plenty of grip, and you can see here, just sort of skip through to see what we can do. And the group in front started fighting a little bit, and you can see how quickly that allows me to catch up. And we have a little think about going around the outside, going through the corner there, but nothing doing. Can we hold it around the outside, going through Cafe? We're going to try it anyway. Over the curb, just about staying inside track limits, and that puts us on the inside, going into turn 1 and turns 2. We've got that lovely, nice, grippy tarmac. Kart on the outside ends up on the stuff that's a little bit less grippy, especially in this damp weather, and that's a position made. So helped out quite a lot there by the fighting from the karts in front. And in sprint racing, you don't have a lot of time to be making moves. As we skip forward a little bit behind James Johnson, Rich T Racing on YouTube. I'm going to have them try and put ourselves on the outside of him, going into hairpin 2, but nothing doing there. And you can see the kart behind there having a little bit of a look. Put the hand out because I've got a little bit of a bump in the back, and just sort of saying, come on, let's have a little think. Let's see if we can get our heads down and move forwards. Probably a little bit hypocritical, seeing as I tried to do something very similar to our orange helmeted friend a few laps ago, but never mind. The good old helmet tap never hurt anybody. Again, going into Garda, there's some little bit of fighty racing going on front. That allows us to catch up. There's Steve Linley who goes through, and we managed to go up the inside of both karts there. One who I think was Rich T Racing on the outside got stuck, and then we managed to skip underneath the other one as well, behind Steve Linley, but nothing else really happened for the rest of that race. So we're going to skip on to heat number 2, where we're starting on pole. A lovely place to be starting, and this is obviously our front start for the day. As we accelerate and get a nice little tap from behind, gives us a really good launch, and we go into turn 1 in the lead. And as we come through turn 2, have a little look over the shoulder just to make sure there was no one instantly going to be going on the inside of us. As you can see there, we've got Anwar Barrel-Smith there again. Doesn't get the best of exits coming out of hairpin 1, which allows us to go sort of slightly defensive, but not too much going into hairpin 2. A little bit of a jump in the seat to get the launch, and then coming down the hill, I'll shut up for a moment. You can hear there, just the engine completely died. Just no revs, no power, and even though my foot was flat to the floor, nothing was happening. You see me down checking the engine just to make sure there's nothing that's visibly loose going on. As Joe Holmes comes up the inside, he has a little look over the shoulder and a consoling little hand wave there, just say, come on, what's going on? Not that I'd ever be thinking that it would be an easy job keeping Joe behind. Absolutely not. He's got the number 1 plate on there for a reason, but I'd like to think that I'd sort of make it a bit difficult for him under normal circumstances. But as we skip through the race, nothing much really happened during the middle. We were able to keep pace, and it didn't happen again to us. But this is the penultimate lap, I think it is, and again, going down the hill, you can just hear it cutting. It's not even cutting out. It's just there's no real power delivery. It's as if I've gone off the throttle. And that's allowed Adam Wright to get right up our inside going into Garda. Had a look at the shoulder, and I didn't think he was necessarily in a position, but I think he got a much better run through the paddock corner because I'd gone slightly defensive. And that's just poor driving from me. I should have had a think that he would have been wanting to try and throw it at the inside there as we go on to what would be the either this is the penultimate lap or it would be the final lap. But either way, we can see that we're sort of keeping on the bumper here. But we wouldn't really have an opportunity to get past again. You might see that he gets a really nice launch off this corner, and we'll have to settle for P4 in heat number 2. So we'll move on to heat number 3, and the weather's really started getting a bit darker now. You can see a few more people in wetsuits. I think I might have put my wetsuit on by now because it's definitely got wetter on circuit. And as we go through turns number 1, it's all a little bit messy. And you can see there Anwar going around. We were getting hit from behind. You can see in the top corner there that my head was going back, and just as we were keeping it quite close quarters with Anwar, we got a hit from behind which pushed us into him and sent him round, which is really unfortunate. Even more contact going on there. We managed to keep up the inside and lose position. Another position we lose there from a kart that was off the circuit, which I wasn't particularly happy with, but we'll have to get on with it. And it was very much about trying to find the grip as quickly as possible. The new tarmac, everyone knew the new tarmac was really, really grippy, but the older stuff a little bit more challenging. And you can see here going through paddock, similar for hairpin 2. You really wanted to get, didn't really matter which side of your kart it was, but definitely 2 of your wheels on that nice new band of tarmac was there, because it really just dragged you round the corner. Going through the corner there, we get a nice little cutback on the driver in front, and can't really get the momentum all the way up the inside of the driver in front here, but we have a little sniff down the inside, get our nose alongside going into turn 1. That puts us onto the nice grippy bit of tarmac. Manages to stay on it himself. He's trying to hold it around the outside, but just natural rotation through the corner, we end up with a bit of an advantage there. Going into hairpin 1, you can see there that band of tarmac right underneath our right hand wheels, which is bringing us round. Throw it up the inside of I think that's Glen Orford there, maybe wrong, but I think it is. And again, that band of tarmac really dragging us around, and we were able to make the move stick, giving him the finger for saying, come on, let's go. There's a bit of a gap in front of us, so let's not do anything too silly, because I want to try and break this down. We're up into 3rd as it is at the moment, and again, using that tarmac to help us round the corner in these wet conditions. 2 drivers in front getting a little bit defensive going into Garda, have a little think about going up the inside, and it works out this time, and that's up into P2. Going up the hill, good little flick, and we put our weight over the front end of the car. Driver in front has got a good little run. He's kept it a bit tight, which is interesting. The grip round the cafe corner seemed to be round the outside of it. And going into turns 1, able to carry a bit more speed this time than the driver in front. A little bit more confident than he is probably at this point in the race. And you can see there that sort of middle-ish line, getting those tyres, said it already, but onto that nice grippy part of tarmac. Having a little think about maybe throwing it up the inside, going into hairpin 2, but nothing doing this time. Have a little sniff coming out of it, but again, that keeping it tighter didn't really give the drive that was needed to possibly be up the inside going into the S's. Lose the back a little bit going through there, as you can see, sort of didn't get the drive, and then that's put us a bit out of shape going down the hill through Sime Sweep. Didn't get the best of runs through there, so whilst we were gaining a bit of time, we'd lost it there, but we gained it straight back going through paddock. Have a little think about going around the outside. There's definitely going to be some grip there. Can we get the cut back this time? No, he does a good job of holding it on the apex. Can we get a cut back going through this corner here? Not this time. He does a good job again of keeping the momentum, and this time he goes for his tighter line. Not enough grip there, and it sends him round. And good job from P3 there to avoid, managed to avoid the spinning car, especially when the momentum would be taking him towards the outside there, which would be quite nerve-wracking. Not somewhere you want to be spinning or having a kart spinning in front of you. But that puts us up into P1, and from this point onwards, it was a really quite comfortable race in terms of pace. I was feeling pretty confident, finding the grip where the grip needed to be, and looking at the timesheets afterwards, it was pretty much a second in terms of fastest laps between myself and the rest of the field, which is a really good confidence booster. We ended up with a decent lead by the end of the race, and yeah, as I say, having that sort of second over the field, or I think maybe just a little bit less, to second fastest driver, who I think was Mikey Nichols, who, as we know, is another fast C1 driver. It was hopefully good signs going into the final, even though we'd had a pretty average result in the first race. A fourth and a P1 would do us pretty well and get us through into the A final, where we'd be starting on row 4, P7, alongside Kurt Holmes, with, as always, some very fast drivers in front of us and fast drivers behind. Now, as you can see, it's gotten dark. The rain has been coming down a lot more, and the visibility in this race is possibly the worst visibility that I have ever experienced in my many years of kart racing. I don't even think that the camera, with all of the raindrops which don't seem to be moving, do it justice at all. At its worst, you'll see it gets pretty bad, but it was very much the case in some parts of this race where you knew there was a corner somewhere coming up, and you'd just throw the wheel in, hoping that you'd done it at about the right time. And if the spray suddenly disappeared from in front of you, you know you'd got it wrong, because it means the driver in front of you's gone around the corner and you haven't. We tried to go around the outside here of Alex Pritchard, getting a little bit argy-bargy, but it's nothing intentional. It's purely down, and again, a bit of banditry there, going straight into the back of him, but it's nothing intentional. It's just purely down to the fact that there's just very little grip on circuit. And of course, this is the sort of thing where if I'd managed to get past Alex with that amount of contact, we'd have let him straight back through, because it wouldn't have been on. But as you can see, he's keeping that tighter line that the driver in Heat 3 was trying to do, and he couldn't make it work, but Alex definitely could there, and we're keeping a little bit more traditional line, keeping it tight through this nice grippy bit of tarmac going through turns 1 and 2. Got Adam Nather there again, very fast driver in a C2. Don't quite know how he's managed to keep a C2 number plate on there, but we'll ask him about that next time and see if we can get him bumped up into C1, because he's very, very quick indeed, and should probably have a nice little red number plate on the front of him. But as we can see there, we managed to get up the around the outside technically, but up the inside of Adam through hairpin 1, and then managed to keep a little bit more momentum than he did going through hairpin 2. And in doing that, a bit of a gap developed for Alex Pritchard in front. Not the best of runs through paddock corner for me, went a little bit deep and missed that nice grippy bit of tarmac, but again, it was almost impossible to see where that tarmac was. It was just a case of flicking it in and hoping that you got it right, and your wheels would catch on that tarmac and bring you round. Really leaning over the front there, going through Cafe to try and get the weight over those front wheels to help them dig into the tarmac and bring you round. And you'll see over the shoulder here a nice little train of karts with plenty of rooster tails coming off the back wheels, really showing that there's plenty of standing water on circuit here. As we sort of skip forward through the race, again having a little bit of a look up the inside of Alex. Less contact this time, but he's able to keep it through the middle of the circuit well. Have a little look at trying to cut it back, but he does a good job of keeping the momentum through himself. He keeps that nice little tight line going through Cafe Corner, which I couldn't do. I tried it once and it just went horribly wrong, so I stuck to what I knew. And up the inside this time, he goes deep, and that allows us to get up the inside, but in going deep, he's managed to square it off, V off the corner a bit, and he gets a fantastic drive going down towards hairpin 1, even flicking his visor open just to try and get a little bit of visibility. And it was enough in the visibility and the drive to get him back up the inside of me. Managed to go straight into the back of him again, so I'm sorry, Alex. I don't know why I had such a desire to try and punt you off in this race. It's absolute banditry on my part, and I sincerely apologise and hope you don't hold it against me. Maybe he'll get his own back at me at GYG, which will be technically round number 3, but the next round that we go to, because the Wilton Mill round had moved, and he'll fire me off into the Welsh shadow realm in the future. But anyway, Adam Nather managed to get it up the inside of us there, and that demotes us down into P5, I think it was at this point. think we were running in P4. Maybe I wasn't running in P5. Honestly, I couldn't have told you during the race. I knew that we obviously weren't. I'm giving Adam the same treatment as I was giving Alex. God, blimey, it really looks like I can't drive in this one. Maybe I can't. Maybe this is me realising that I'm not able to drive a go-kart particularly well. But we tried going around the outside of Adam there. It's not going to work. His momentum ended up taking him into the side of us. And again, there's no malice in that at all. As we get squeezed, we've had another kart go up the inside of us. I think that was Anwar. Your guess is as good as mine in this one, as we have a little bit of a sniff up the inside. I think it's Anwar. I think we can tell the helmet is his distinctive sort of green and orangey colours. And yeah, quite a few places lost over a very short period of time, and that was all just from getting caught on the outside of Adam going through the corner at the bottom of the hill after Garda. And we've lost some momentum. We're feeling a little bit under fire here, and we'll skip forward through the race. And this is towards the end of the race now. Going through Garda, we've got Mo Hassan able to throw up her inside there. Just sort of wasn't really aware of what was going on. I didn't realise he was as close as he was, and it's at the inside. But we get a good drive, have a little bit of a think, throw it inside. But we've got Adam right, absolutely sending it, and it was the lightest of touches. But with the amount of water that was on circuit and the lack of grip that was there, it ends up sending us round. And right on the last lap, as we're coming up towards the line, it ends up being a P15 finish for what should have probably been, at worst, a top 10. And that means that finishing P15, we end up not inside the top 10 for the championship after round 1, but we'll obviously do our best to rectify that as we get to technically round 3 at second of the year at Glanigor. It's a wonderful Welsh circuit, one that I'm very much looking forward to. So hope you enjoyed as much as I did. The wet weather really is good fun, even if it wasn't quite the result that I was looking for at the end of the weekend. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a good one.